going to move right on to item number 11, which is to receive the annual report from the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. Mr. Nigel.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and honorable members of our City Council. It's my pleasure to present the annual report for the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. I'm really privileged to introduce each of them. I'll ask each one to stand, and when I finish, that person will sit down, and the next one will stand up. Our chair last year was Randy Brace, who you appointed in November 2005, and he sends his apologies because he has a work conflict tonight, can't be here. I served as vice chair. I was originally appointed in June 2002, and I really love working on this committee. Walter Bird, will you stand up? Walter Bird was a charter member of this committee, June 2002, and he has been an absolutely fantastic member. He has been a real advocate for our city, for our programs, and I really am honored to be one of his colleagues. And Walter did not, he ended his term, but he's still continuing to work on our committee as a committee member. Thank you, Walter. Next is Henry Marr, who was appointed in April 2012. And Henry is our current vice chair and has been doing terrific work in the Canyon area. Thank you. And Cecile Riberoso is the representative from the business community. She's very active at Walmart, and I'll be talking about Cecile in the wonderful projects that she and Henry have been working on. Thank you. Jeffrey Tong, I was very proud that he just came in on his fold-up bicycle, and he rides a long way to get here, and that's downhill, so after the city council meeting, he's got to go uphill to go back home. And he is really interested in legislation, doing a great job. Thank you, Jeffrey. Matt Jones. Matt was appointed in May 2014 and has really, as a new member, really done a lot of research for us and has been very active. Thank you. And next is Gus Sinks. Gus, I could say the same thing. He was just appointed in November 2014, and what he has done in his short tenure on our committee is really admirable. Thank you. And our city council representatives started out with Michael Salazar, Councilman Salazar. Thank you for your guidance and liaison. And currently we have Councilman Ken Ibarra. Ibarra is our liaison. Thank you. City staff. I've worked with, over my tenure since 2002, I've worked with a lot of city staff. All of them have been very good. I can honestly say that. But right now, working with David Woltering and Paula Bradley and William Lee has been such an uplift for our committee, and the guidance and mentoring that they give us is really appreciated. Okay. Our current, I also want to acknowledge Laura Russell, who's no longer with the city. For several years, she's been our guiding light, keeping us on track, helping us with grants and all kinds of situations, putting us in the positive direction. And I would be remiss not to mention Laura as a great help to our committee. The first slide is responsibilities, and as you can see over here on the board, our first bullet is service as an advisory capacity to the City Council and the City Manager. And the second bullet, provide input and recommendations on the development of a comprehensive and ongoing plan to promote and encourage bicycle use and safety for commuting and recreation. And this has been a real focus, and it really hit me yesterday as I went to the opening game of the Giants, I took the train, and I was surprised how many bicycle riders got on in San Bruno. And this is one of our focuses, and we really need to connect with those folks. It's also to enhance and foster pedestrian advisability. To be honest, we really focused on bicycles and bicycle riders at the beginning, but now we are really paying attention to pedestrian, and we're identifying many areas that are dangerous, and we're passing on that information to staff, and hopefully those are going to be taken care of immediately. To provide other assistance as requested by the City Council or the City Manager, including reviewing and commenting on grant applications, and we're very active in that, and we want to thank staff for helping with that as well. Next, this is a picture that warms my heart, because Walter and I, we started with the walking school bus at John Muir School, which we reported to you in past years. That's still going on. And then we went to John Muir School and approached the principal, Fran Dunleavy, and we asked her if we could present a safety program for kids walking to school and bicycling. Walter is a fantastic bicyclist. He worked for United Airlines. I think it was 1964 he started. And from Crestmore, he rode every day, rain, shine, whatever it was. He would ride down to United where he worked, and then he had to ride back home after working a long shift. So he's a real bicyclist, and you can see his bike is a little different than the normal bike. And when we were at John Muir, he showed that, all the equipment. Last year we did the same thing last spring at Portola Elementary School, and this year we're approaching a third school. So eventually we will hit all the San Bruno schools with our program. This started because you all know that there was a terrible tragedy of a young lady at Parkside who borrowed a bicycle, rode down Niles, and collided with an automobile and was killed. As a result of that, we developed 10 safety programs and points for kids to follow. And on the other side, staff helped us with our mission statement and our goals and objectives and how to contact us. And during the Posey Parade and other functions, Bike to Work, we pass that brochure out. And I just met with Paula yesterday. She's going to print copies for us for this year as well. The next slide is Bike to Work. It's coming up in May. Since we started this committee, representatives and committee members have worked, and this is what I want to acknowledge Cecile and Henry. They have organized this. Of course, they have a little promotion there with that company. Do you recognize that company? I think it's a small company. And what we do, we stop all the bicyclers. This is in front of Bard, but they have stations throughout the county, and we give them coffee and donuts or bagels, but we also give them safety tips and bags, and we give them tire repair kits. So we really do a good service. The next slide is the Posey Parade, and the Posey Parade started years and years ago, and it's, as you know, it's the oldest parade that's not motorized, with the kids riding their bicycles and tricycles and wagons. And here are two of our committee representatives. The next slide is our outreach and education program. And I'm very proud, you know, I'm also on the Park and Rec Commission. A majority of the Park and Rec commissioners were active. I want to compliment our Vice Mayor, led us, and we had Centennial Day in the Park, which was a tremendous success. And we had a booth set up there, and we had a survey that we did at our table, and This survey was related to biking and walking in our city. And we found out that people love to ride their bikes, but a lot of people don't feel safe. And walkers as well. So one of our goals will be to identify how we can make safer bike paths and pedestrian crossings. The next slide, there are 2 projects funded in 2014. The first one is the San Mateo County Transportation Measure A for pedestrians and a bicycle program grant for the construction of improvements on El Camino Real and Angus intersections. I started my teaching career at Allen, and those kids had to cross by the library. We always worried that's such a dangerous crossing. Now I've noticed they put a crossing guard there. But also, early in my career on the Park Commission, our director, Mike Kiley, was walking across to IHOP, and he was hit and thrown 50 feet in the air, and he survived. But from that point on, I realized what a terrible intersection that could be. The second one is the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, TDA, Article 3, Measure A, and this is one of our grant programs, and the city posted a request for proposals for the city's bicycle pedestrian master plan, and are due on April 17th. So it's coming right up. And we appreciate starting the master plan in July and completing the plan in June of 2016. Our goals for 2015, assist with the launching of the bicycle pedestrian master plan to be completed in the spring of 2016, to expand community outreach, events, schools, safety, education, and public safety announcements. In the public safety announcements, we really need to compliment Walter and Randy. And they've worked very closely with our cable department, and we're very proud of those safety announcements that we have on cable TV. Identify bicycle and pedestrian safety improvement citywide, continue safety education for children and adults, and provide support with grant applications for bicycle and pedestrian safety improvements and multi-use trail connectivity within San Bruno. The first one we worked on was to connect BART with the hills and encourage people to ride their bikes down and take BART or Caltrain. I want to thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Dave?
Through the chair.
Irene?
Thank you. Mr. Nigel, thank you very much for your report. It's always informative. I have 2 things to offer you. Operation Clean Sweep is May 2nd. If you would like to have a table there starting around 11:30 to 12:30, you'll be able to catch quite a few people. And the other thing is, this year we are giving separate gifts to the kids that volunteer. And if you would like, you can give me copies of your safety tips for kids, and we'll put them in that bag, and then they'll be able to take it home.
That would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Anyone else? Well, thank you, Dave, and for all of your commissioners.
Now, since I have the podium,
Since you have the podium.
I wanted to speak as a citizen. On the way down, I was listening to 910 Talk Radio, and they, at 6:45, Jerry Hill came on with Lee Gross. They were talking about San Bruno. And they were really complimenting the mayor, the council, and Connie, and all the staff. I was really proud of that. I heard you last week on radio. I was proud that you're our mayor and articulating so clearly the situation, and how strong you've been, going against the PUC and PG&E. And as a citizen of the city since 1959, I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate that. And to your total commission, your complete commission, and I know it's been a lot of work since the influx of small companies like YouTube and Walmart e-commerce, a lot more bicycles around. So I think we have to have bigger right-hand mirrors on cars because that's what I look at mostly now. But all of commissions, boards, and committees of this city are really the lifeblood. They're under the radar, but it's all volunteer and thousands of hours of work. So thank you all very much again.